the stories begin. Welcome to the ride.
A lot of noise, man.
Him. And all of a sudden, here he goes popping up out of nowhere.
You motherfuckers. You motherfuckers. Thought you was going to jump on and get started without me? The champion? Get back.
KG, you had one job, damn it.
Well, I didn't know I could. I didn't think he was coming. I read the message wrong, I guess.
I said you called a wheel. That meant you lead the show, cuz. See how they just did me out of it? That's some bullshit.
I read the message wrong. Well, I guess. Welcome to the Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs, brought to you by the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. It's me, the big guy KG, sitting in with none other than two of the greatest to ever do it, the Nubian Sumo and the People's Choice, Don Rodriguez. How y'all doing, fellas?
I was all right until about 20 seconds ago.
That's some bullshit. I can't believe he was going to do me like that.
But I will say this. That intro, you got to admit, you can't sit still doing that intro. You got to dance.
No, now you want to put it over.
I've always put it over. I told you I liked it from the beginning. You got to dance.
Thank God it was rubber.
Sumo ain't never like it.
Nope. Never have, never will.
Well, Sumo ain't never hung out of hammer jacks before.
He never hammered or jack.
If
Never
he was in
bought a
that
paradox.
he'd love that.
They don't play nothing like that at Magic City.
No, the hell they sure don't. That no truer words have ever been said.
Oh man.
That entrance music and lemon pepper wings do not go together.
No.
Nah, that
Not
entrance
at all.
that entrance music, you got to get you a chicken or a fish box with hot sauce. That's the intro make you do. It's like I'm sitting here, I'm like, damn.
What the hell's getting a fish box? What the hell is a fish box?
Ain't that what y'all call it? Ain't that what y'all call y'all fish platters? The fish box?
No, you get a chicken box, salt, pepper, ketchup, hot sauce. You get fish is something separate. You know, there could be some lake trout. You know, that's what you go over there. But a fish box, I wish a mofo would talk about I want to get a fish box.
Well, either way, you go to Hip Hop Fish and Chicken and you can go eat up. Tell them sprinkle some crack on it.
I don't know why you tripping about fish boxes. You got a whole bunch of fish boxes on our entrance.
Hey, would you like some Gordon fish up in on there?
Get it out. Shut up.
I got some tender ears around, so I can't say what I wanted to say. I had to curb it a little bit. God dang, always hating. I'm working on the new entrance. You know how hard it is to send them chicks down there to Saudi Arabia to get a BBL? God dang. It's expensive.
It's
Riyadh season.
Why you sending them to Saudi Arabia knowing they're making $50,000 getting defecated on? They ain't thinking about getting
free.
They ain't thinking about getting BBLs.
Shoot,
they think about somebody else's BBLs doing something to them.
Hey, they work for free. I can't hate on them if that's where they wanted to go to get their surgery done.
That post that I sent y'all, and y'all neither one of y'all answered it.
What post? I've been busy. I like some of us.
I put in that post about the job offer.
Oh yeah, okay, I saw that. Yeah.
Well, I
answered that.
I think I remember that. I was like, I declined the comment because I don't want to get in trouble.
No, yeah, KG answered that. I saw it and I was like, well, I'm glad KG was interested.
Oh, yeah, that's right. KG did answer it.
But I ain't gonna lie though. If there's some fringe benefits, you man, do what you gotta do.
No, I don't think there's any benefit at all to that.
Or a paper towel. With a paper towel, you gotta do what you're gonna have to do.
No, you need some sort of big, thick wet wipes.
So some super dude wipes.
You need a hose.
Nobody knows what the hell we're talking about. By the way,
for that.
By the way, this is a
remember back in the day, you used to wash your parents' car, and you used to take the hose and get the soap, and you used to put the soap down in the hose, the soap into the water as you're shooting out the hose.
You need the ShamWow.
That's what you need to do for that.
You need the ShamWow, old boy with the ShamWow. Like, you just take this chamois and you just get in the crack.
Now, who was it? Martin Lawrence was like, you gotta squash it.
What a squeegee. Straight down the cracks. Clean that thing up for $10,000?
$10,000 a month.
Heck yes.
I wonder
like one or two passes.
I wonder if that comes with medical and dental and vision.
Oh, trust me, it's definitely comes with some vision. You got to be able to capture that.
I hope so. There's a lot of potential pink eye going on right there.
I'm surprised that Kardashian never hired that position.
Well, gentlemen, I think the best way to start it off is to
this is the one conversation that Sam should have been in on. Just that was catered towards him. He'd have been like, "What y'all talking about? You got to be talking about wiping some ass." He would automatically do.
Just a thought.
Oh man!
But to bring it back around to wrestling, we got a few things to talk about. Little hot button topic that we were having a dispute with a little earlier because I wanted to bring this to the forefront, bring it to the masses. We'll get to that. We have some releases that need to be talked about. Nubian Sumo, you prepared?
I'm always prepared.
Well, without further
ado, I stay ready so I don't have to get ready.
Well, he put on the right shirt for this part, so yeah. He's definitely looking the part. Let's say to say the least.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen,
wipe your ass.
It's the return of That's Just Nubian.
That ascot. We need to play that again. You see that man at the end? He looked like he was just about to go get him into a porno.
Yeah, you ain't ready for that. You ain't ready for that.
No, trust me, I ain't trying to be ready. I know you was out there murdering some people with that.
You ain't ready for that. Nobody's ready for that. Nobody is ready for the Nubian Sumo.
They weren't ready then, but they got it, didn't they?
Well, to start off, they brought up the T-shirt, and rest in peace to the Bullet Club. Tomorrow actually would have been their 13th anniversary. So RIP to the Bullet Club. There is going to be some semblance of a Bullet Club going on because there's rumors that Finn Balor is talking about bringing the Balor Club back.
Mm.
So we'll see what's going on with that or what happens with that. I got my ideas about that, but I'm sure we'll be talking about that at some point later on or another show. First off, I want to talk about I Say Wrestling. We haven't talked about I Say Wrestling a lot because they haven't really been doing any shows lately. They've been doing some revamping and some other things. But they do have their first show of the year coming up on the 23rd of May. They have gotten a new venue at the Blumenthal Arts Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. They will be having their show at 6 o'clock there. The men's champion, Darius Carter, will be defending his title there against the revolutionary Darius Lockhart, as well as I Say Wrestling Tag Team Championship match. They're expecting Cedric Alexander there with Billy Dixon and a whole lot of others. The women's champion, Charity King, and a whole lot of others. So that'll be good for them to come back, and hopefully they'll be showing that on YouTube. I'm not sure if they have gotten any television or anything lately, but I'll follow up and see what's going on with them as things go along. We also have New Japan Pro Wrestling, who is in the middle of their Wrestling Dontaku tour. That tour will end on the 4th, where they will have the heavyweight championship match between your champion Colin Newman versus Shingo Takagi for the championship. There's also going to be a match. There also should be a match between Yota Tsuchi, who's still the IWGP Global Champion, going up against Andrade El Idolo for that title. And then not too far after that, you're going to have the Best of the Super Juniors that's going to start. They got 2 blocks going on. The first block being Risuke Taguchi, Master Wato, Valente Jr. out of CMLL, Teton out of CMLL. You got Robbie X, Koji Fujita, Francisco Akira, Dake Nage, Nick Wayne from AEW, and Jun Kasai in Block A of that. Then you also have in Block B, you have El Desperado, Kushida, Yo, Taji Ishimori, Robbie Eagles, Jacob Austin Young, Sho, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Hayo, and Daisuke Sasuke. So they'll be having that tournament going on. That'll be ending on my birthday, actually, June 7th.
Oh, Lord.
And then after that, it's coming. It's coming. And on June 19th, on Juneteenth, they will be starting the G1 Climax. They haven't put out the brackets for the blocks for that yet. So once I find out about that, if you all want to hear about that, just let us know and we'll put that out for you. But other than that, I mean, in the NWA, Trevor Murdoch has announced his retirement.
Really?
After 27 years, he has announced that he want to be one of those who's just standing around and just waiting for his just filling up a spot. So he's getting to the point where he thinks he's out of it now. So he's announced his retirement in the Crockett Cup tournament night that happened the other night. Good. We wish him the best of luck and whatever he decides to do after wrestling. I'm sure that he'll probably get together with be like an agent or something within the NWA, because he would be a
a big asset to them. If in the backstage and whatnot. Also, you got MLW, and I'm talking about Maple Leaf Wrestling, who has gotten a deal now with TSN, the sports network out of Canada. So they're going to start. They're going to start showing them on television. They're doing regular television shows there now. So if you have access to TSN, you can start watching Maple Leaf Wrestling. I mean, they have a lot of TNA, TNA and AEW. Well, they used to have AEW. I'm not sure if they're going to be still having the AEW casting will happen on there, but you can check them out still. Got Don Callis and Mauro Ranallo on the commentary. So that's good to hear from Mauro Ranallo again.
Absolutely.
So but other than that, that's pretty much it for me. I was looking forward to G1 coming up and looking forward to the Best of the Super Junior, which is always a good thing. Anybody got anything they want to add or anything they want to ask about?
Yeah, I want to ask what your thoughts about Evil coming over to NXT. Do you think that's a good move?
Well, yeah, I think it's a very good move. I mean, especially him going to NXT because he asked to go to NXT first. Mm-hmm. I think he realizes that he's gonna need to know the WWE style, and being that he's cool with AJ Styles, the AJ Styles went on record and saying, I think anybody coming into the WWE from another organization should be in NXT for at least 6 months before they get on the main roster. So to learn the WWE style, which is different from everybody else. So
no, we got one person upset.
Yeah, so I think it's a good thing that he's going to NXT first. Plus, NXT needs the boost. They've lost everybody that's name worthy at this point. I thought they were going to keep Ricky Saints for a while, for at least a little while longer, but they're going to go ahead and pull the trigger on that. So,
well, think about that though. That's a good point. Not to cut you off, to interject. Last week, we got all the releases that just happened. Did we talk about that last week or the week before? I don't know. But
we weren't on last week. So.
But we had all these releases, which opened up the door for a lot of call-ups. I remember some time ago that technically, minus the release side, but we did talk about, and correct me if I'm wrong, KG. See, got the Hollywood boys got me. They got me doing it. But we talked about
disrespectful.
A long while ago about when they pull people up, they just need to pull up the group. If a group is ready, instead of just one here once in a while, bring them all up at WrestleMania time. So technically, they just did that. Do you think that's good? They're back to almost like a reboot of NXT to build new, fresh faces. Everybody that technically is show ready. Sol Ruka, Ricky Saints, etc. They're up. Trick Williams, they're up. They've been elevated. So now NXT is kind of like what it was in OVW or early times. What's your thoughts?
Is people actually upset that Trick Williams, Obafemi, who else was it? It was Trick Williams, Obafemi, and somebody else. They were upset that they were called up. They was like, why are they?
Ron Evans probably.
Huh?
Yeah, Ron was in that.
Evans.
They were upset that they were called up. It's like, why were they called up? They're not good. Like, okay. I think this is the best time for somebody that's over like a Obafemi, a Trick Williams. Those characters, those talents are not going to get changed like they did. And I'll go back to it and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Vince McMahon ruined the run of Keith Lee. He had that. What was that? That was Sunday night. It was an NXT pay-per-view. He won the North American title to go with the NXT title.
Mm-hmm.
And then Monday he had the beard and the goatee shaved off. He was clean shaven, and he wasn't the same. And then he wanted to change his name to Bearcat, and this you fucked it up. Whatever you did in NXT, everybody's familiar with it. Take it to the main roster and throw it against the wall. I guarantee you it's going to stick. Because if you were over in NXT, everybody from NXT is going to follow you to Raw or SmackDown wherever you go. That's the whole thing. And I think this is the best time because you don't have anybody interfering to the point where you're changing gimmicks overnight and then thinking that the consumer, us, still going to really enjoy it. So I think this is the best time to be an NXT performer to get called up. Because I think next year, this time, if rumors are true, it's going to go back to status quo in the old way. And you're going to have the old man doing old man things and wanting to control everything and have his fingers in everything.
We'll see. I just want to know if Sumo is ready to give Obafemi his props. Because I think he's the first person in a long time, in my opinion, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that he blew up when he got promoted. Think about it. Obafemi was not at this level in NXT. Sumo just hating on the bop. That's all he had was the bop. Think about it.
But look, hey, look. I never said no. Let me answer.
Go ahead.
I never had a problem with Obafemi other than the bop.
Right.
So I mean, I knew he was going to go. I knew he was going to go to the main roster and do well, as long as they didn't mess up his gimmick, like KG just said. You know, he just talked about. So as long as they kept him the way he was in NXT, he would be fine. I knew that. My argument is the bop.
But that is what
but yeah, the bop is over. And I still don't like it. There's nothing you can do or say that's going to make me like the kick step or the bop.
If they gave you 10% of the proceeds, would you like it then?
I take the money, but I still wouldn't like it.
Oh, Lord, you must work for ESPN then. You gonna start writing a column?
Why would I give up money? Why would I give up the free money?
But but truly, think about that. He blew up on the main roster. Once the lights came on, the bop happened. People saw it at a grander scale. What did you hear? People just chanting Obafemi. I just saw a couple social media posts of people doing the Obafemi walk while they're graduating across the stage. I'm waiting for it to hit in the NBA or something like that, or the NFL. Well, and the whole team just does the walk.
Wait,
there was a spring game where somebody ran a touchdown and they did the oboe.
They did.
They did the bop in the end zone after a touchdown.
I didn't see that yet.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago.
I'm gonna tell you this. I said this to my wife. Obafemi and Trick Williams have crossed racial lines.
They have.
Trick is white kids from Middle America don't know nothing about African culture, don't know nothing about Nigeria doing the Obafemi bop.
Heck yeah.
They won't. You got white kids from Iowa, South Dakota, North Dakota, talking about whoop that trick, and you can't get no better than that.
Did y'all see SmackDown? All these clips from SmackDown? How did he get away with saying "Ask Lash"? Because what was the quote? "Ask Lash whenever I want some, I get that ass," or something like that. That get cleared through S&P to be said on national television. I get that ass. You gotta be over to be able to cut a promo like that and still have a job.
But are they about to Keith Lee Trick Williams?
They can't
with the gingerbread man.
No, with Sami Zayn and the gingerbread man and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Did you see it Friday? Did you see it yesterday?
I saw a couple clips of it.
I was watching us.
So Sami Zayn comes out to cut a promo. Before he comes out, he has the gingerbread man suit in kind of like, I guess he had it stuffed or whatever, so it was standing straight up. But nobody was in it. It was just the gingerbread suit. And so he's cutting a promo and he's doing this thing and he's talking about the gingerbread man and how disrespectful it is and everything. And so he attacks the gingerbread man, starts tearing the head, rips off one of his arms, starts beating it like it's actually somebody for real. Trick Williams comes out, jumps on Sami Zayn, and is look like he's saving the gingerbread man. To the point where he goes and checks on the gingerbread man like it's a real person. Then he gets up, throws up the X, and then the medical team comes in, checks on the gingerbread man, and takes him to the back. Then after the commercial, they have one of the backstage girls in the training room with Trick Williams talking about you jumped on my manager and he gone. You jumped on my gingerbread man and now he's in critical condition. And I'm about to get you. I'm about to get you a backlash. You want a title shot so bad? I'm gonna give you one. And then one of the trainers comes out and looks at Trick Williams. He said, "Is he okay?" And the trainer goes, and now next week they're gonna have a funeral for the gingerbread man. A whole fucking funeral for the gingerbread man. They even put up an obituary talking about the gingerbread man 2026 to 2026. He will be missed.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
No.
Somewhere.
Thank you, KG. Thank you.
Somewhere, somebody has finally got. Come on, this is OG SmackDown type of writing. You got to give him that, KG.
No,
that's OG SmackDown.
OG
even even Nick Aldis. He came. Who was it? Was it Sammy? Was it Sammy? Sammy came up and was like, "Are you kidding me? Y'all having a funeral for the gingerbread man?" And Nick Aldis was like, "Well, he was a very productive member of the roster.
He's generational talent." Sometimes, go ahead, KG. I know you want to hate on it, but you just got to have some fun.
That's okay. Okay. I get having fun. You do that with your lower tier comedic relief.
Now say that, but I could have swore The Rock was having concerts, talking about strudels.
But that right there, now, part of cutting a promo and having fun. This right here with inanimate objects, this is what Kai and Ty would do.
Come on, this is your life, The Rock.
That right there was the greatest Raw segment of all time, highest rated Raw segment of all time.
I'm not gonna lie, it was boring as hell until the girlfriend came down.
What?
It was, man. It was. I'm watching it live.
Time out.
This is too long.
Time out.
I'm be honest with you.
Let me time out. Hold on. Let me get you straight. Let me get you straight real quick.
I'm telling you, it was long.
When he said to her, you remember we were sitting on your parents' couch and you were whispering in The Rock's ear, "Go for it, Rocky. Go for second base." And ever so slightly, The Rock would creep his hand up your thigh and you would cut The Rock off at second base. Bet you want to get a Rock a little piece of poontang pie, don't you? Mm-hmm. How about you go ahead and poontang your ass on out of here? That right there.
That was worth the wait. God dang, it ran long. That was a long segment. And they even admitted it. They went over.
It was great. That was not that was.
So we can poontang your behind out of here, but we can't have fun with the gingerbread man.
Not the same.
The closest thing I remember to this happening was when they did it with the plant with Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. Hell, Stephanie got married twice. We had Billy and Chuck get married. Come on, man.
Okay, so this right here, the gingerbread man is the equivalent of Little Jimmy.
No, whoa! Don't you
and
talk
Perry
bad about
Saturn
Little Jimmy.
talking to a daggone mop.
Don't you talk bad about Little Jimmy.
I love Little Jimmy, but Little Jimmy, that wasn't. You're trying to build a main event star. You're trying to. What you're going to wind up doing is you're going. The relevance of the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title is going to be back in relevance because you're going to have the World Heavyweight title and the WWE title defended on TV. So you still got to have your secondary championship to find out who can carry the mantle when it's time to move up. You want Trick Williams, you want Obafemi, Sami Zayn even. You want these guys to be able to carry the U.S. title, the Intercontinental title. Don't put them in fucking feuds with stupid shit like this because you're diminishing their run.
No, KG. This is the perfect time to experiment, to show the different layers of Trick Williams, to, give options and stuff like that while he's, still getting through. So that way he can evolve past the lemon pepper steppers. He can change color jackets, and he can wear black, and something's wrong, or red, or do all these different things. This is where he plays around with where he can go for his range. So when he gets to the level of IC, now he's at a different gear, because even Brock Lesnar, your boy, has had some moments where he done some comedic stuff, some off the wall stuff.
Brock Party.
We talking about Brock when he came out with the boom box and he doing all that.
Brock Party. That was the only run he had when he was actually fun loving. He actually smiled.
But he's still Brock Lesnar. But Trick Williams, I think it's good for him to just stretch out his chops in preparation for when he has to turn or do something to go to that next gear. Roman Reigns wouldn't be Roman Reigns right now if he wasn't the big dog. If he wasn't the butt of jokes, if he hadn't, had done the dog food stuff and all these other things, if he wasn't just known as the guy that, was part of the triple power bomb and that was it. He wasn't even the talker of the group. All he believe that. What the hell am I supposed to believe? Now, this fool talking about, this ain't about this. Just you gonna acknowledge me come backlash, Jacob. That's just my opinion. I just think this is a perfect time. Otherwise, there's no time.
But if that's never been your thing, how can you be taken seriously?
Why should it be serious now?
Hold on. Trick Williams is in the vein of The Rock.
What?
Quick one-liners, fashion icon. Like what?
Who dresses like Trick Williams?
A fur coat with a train that led all the way up the ramp back to backstage in Gorilla. Who else could pull that off?
Chelsea Green.
His train was so long; it was long as a CVS receipt.
Seth had a long train though, a couple years ago.
Seth Rollins is probably the only other person that could pull that off.
Becky Lynch.
But I don't see this. I mean, it may be over for you. I can't. I feel like you watering them down. Like, don't do that.
Sumo, you've been quiet. Pick a side.
Started this argument. What you talking about?
Well, it's gotten deeper than where you started.
And my view hasn't changed. It's some bullshit.
Okay.
I agree with KG.
Kiss my ass.
Well,
you're going to be looking back at this and be like, man, that was awesome. That was crazy. Gingerbread man.
I don't know about that now.
Andy checking it. He said
they took it too far with the funeral. I mean, they used it to jump Sammy. Sammy used it to jump Trick. Okay, it's over. It's done with. But now
what if Sammy's in the casket?
Huh?
What if Sammy's in the casket? They have a casket rolled out and they doing a funeral and all that stuff. Sami Zayn comes out the casket like the Undertaker.
I don't care.
Oh, man. Y'all so serious, man.
You're going too far.
Gotta have some fun. What's up, Anthony? What you talking about?
Andy said, I'm thinking of Jacob, if he loses, join Roman and Jimmy and Jay, and we're going to be changing the name of the group to the First Family because WWE already hit it out doing one of the Roman promos.
First of all, there's already been a First Family. There have been a few First Families.
Wrestling.
So
they one First Family.
So they probably won't use the First Family. Second of all, if you saw the show, well, it wasn't on the show, but there's a vignette going on YouTube where Jacob before SmackDown was back in some room on the phone with somebody.
Pat McAfee.
Yeah, it was that type thing. Talking
that
about,
Jacob's
yeah, I know, I'm not the same guy that I was back then, and all this and that. So, yeah, I'm thinking about that. I was thinking that the person on that phone with Jacob was Zilla.
You think so?
I think it was Zilla. I want to say it was Zilla. And because in thinking about it, it could only be one of two people. It's either going to be Lance Anoa'i or it's going to be Zilla. Now, both of them, now going back to what they were saying, he was saying, I know I'm not the same guy as I was back then. He's talking about MLW.
Right.
Now, in MLW, who was with him that would know that is WWE affiliated? And that would be the Zilla or Lance Anoa'i. They've already let go of Lance Anoa'i 2 or 3 times in WWE, so he probably ain't coming back. So it's got to be Zilla.
But did you see that little segment, excuse me, with Jacob and Royce Keys?
Yeah, I saw that, but I don't think it was Royce.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think it was Royce. I don't even think they're going to do too much with them together because, well, if that was the case, where was Royce when Jacob was getting jumped last night? Even though he made it out pretty unscathed, but they made Tyler last night into the monster that he should have been from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because he didn't have JC and Tonga Loa with him or anymore. But yeah, he was most of that show last night. So I mean, we'll have like I said, we'll have to see. But I don't see Jacob going backwards and getting with Solo.
Right.
I see him kind of agreeing with him because he was the one that brought me in, but we're not seeing eye to eye really right now to the point where I can go back with him, under that faction.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we'll just have to see.
I will say that Solo is lucky that he's of the dynasty because he probably would have got cut. Because I really don't see what this character for Solo is accomplishing. And I like the look. I like the flavor. I just don't get the feeling from it. He doesn't make me feel anything. And that's the difference between what Roman has with the MF. Well, I don't even know if the MFTs anymore because not a lot of them. But between that and the bloodline, you felt that. Jacob's promos that he's done these past couple weeks, you feel that. But Solo, technically, he's on the same level as Sami Zayn. No disrespect to Sami Zayn, but hey, it's great to see you. Love it when you come out, but what's happening? I don't know. We'll see. KG, back to you.
Well, speaking of releasing, this one right here, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods asked to be released. A lot of people were upset when it first came down, and I was telling Sumo this backstage before we started. And
without me, yeah, I bet you were.
we
got me running behind the mothership like it's a school bus. Won't forget me, Mom.
Yeah, who put on the brakes and let you on for real?
Exactly. I'm like, what the hell? How I show up?
We're supposed to leave you in the jet stream.
You got that entrance play. Like, what the hell? You almost done the song. Like, y'all start that at 8:59. What the hell?
No, we actually started at 8. I mean at 9.
Like, we're gonna skip past his ass.
To be honest, number one, I didn't see this coming. And I'll let everybody else go and I'll say my thoughts. But a lot of people were saying this is racially motivated. Why would you release the New Day and da. But we found out they asked for their release. Sumo, Don, what's your thoughts on this?
I think I'm sorry, Sumo.
Well, from what I've been reading, because a lot more has come out since it first came out. Apparently TKO approached that there was a few more years on their contract. And TKO came to them to revamp the contract to make it more along the lines of what they wanted to with everybody else right now. Because they're saying that the money was good. Both of them were making good 7 figures.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they still had a few years left on their contracts. But then they looked at the new contracts and they didn't agree with what was on the new contracts. And that's what precipitated them to ask for their release. So it wasn't like, they were like thinking about leaving. It was the fact that TKO came to them with a new contract and was like, here, sign it. So I don't think it was racially motivated. I think this is something that they're going to everybody with, and try to bring everybody up to speed. But hell, they just saved a whole bunch of money letting them two go. It's a shame that they're gone because the tag team division is almost dead now. With everything going on, but will this lead to what people have been asking, the match that people have been asking for all these years, for at least the last 10 years? Will this lead to New Day versus the Elite?
If that's a pause for question, truthfully, I would hope not. And here's why I say that. First of all, I want to give them an applause and commend them for betting on themselves. Thank you to MJF for showing, that there's still a pathway to bet on yourself. Hey, man, y'all trying to give me R-Truth, same thing. Y'all trying to give me this contract, but I'm under contract. Why are y'all coming at me when I still got years left and I'm guaranteed this? We signed it. I'm guaranteed this, but yet you want me to sign this and take less. But you want me to take less because you're not putting me in a program that's going to allow us to shine. The moment we found out that Big E wasn't coming back, okay, so we were holding out for Big E. I get it. He's not able to come back. It's going to be us two. Let's do that. All right, cool. Put us back in the tag team picture like we should be. Give us somebody else that we could bring up and put under our wing. That's cool too. but hey, take this less money, be boo-boo the fool, just so you can hang around and be here. Nah, we'll go ahead and take the step away. I don't think that Tony Khan's going to get the opportunity. If they let those two go somewhere else, they got a problem. Because that the credibility that those two bring, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, former world heavyweight champion, moved the needle socially for a culture like nobody's business. Xavier Woods, who's been through TNA, WWE for years, has done things in the industry, brought the King of the Ring back into the fold just by making announcements. And that could also be potentially the end of Up, Up, Down, Down, because WWE owns Up, Up, Down, Down, pretty much all of it. So they would lose.
I was saying that from the beginning, that he should have never let WWE get a piece of Up, Up, Down, Down, because once this happened, not that we knew this was going to happen, but eventually it was going to happen. Yeah. And now he's going to have to start that all over if he decides to do that.
Which is no problem, because if he goes to the other side, Kenny Omega's waiting for him. Up, Up, Down, Down, starring him. Well, or not Up, Up, Down, Down, but whatever they want to call it, starring Xavier Woods and Kenny Omega with the Street Fighter movie coming out.
Well, it wouldn't be Kenny Omega. It would be
Kenny Omega.
It'd be Adam Cole. Adam Cole is running their
No.
Their version of Up, Up, Down, Down.
They would end that immediately. Adam Cole and
Cole and Evil Uno.
Evil Uno. I'm not gonna lie, it's boring. It's just them playing games. It's nothing. There's no action. It's no adventure. It's no fanfare. They're just sitting in front of the screen. It's not Up, Up, Down, Down level by no means.
Oh no, I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying that's their version of it. Yeah.
I know. Oh, trust me, I follow them on YouTube. But AEW games. But if Kenny Omega and the two big rivals came together with a Street Fighter movie coming out, and the new fighting game, Tokon, coming out, that's like Marvel versus Capcom, the sky's through the roof on what we could do. That's why I don't think the WWE. I think they're going to cut them. If it's money related, they're going to pay him, because they know that Tony Khan is going to pull an Eric Bischoff, and the heck with all 23 other releases, those two pay dividends twice. You got the social media aspect through the video games and linkage for everything else that him and what's his name can do, Kenny Omega, but then also you add validity to your god-dag-on tag division. You don't need. I
don't think it was money though. I don't think it had to do with money. I think it was
money.
What was. I think it was.
Why would you go to a new contract? What is there to negotiate? Why would you bring a new contract if it's not about money?
Because TKO wanted to get them out of the Vince contract. There was. I guess there were certain aspects of the TKO contract that they didn't agree with. It didn't have anything to do with the money.
I don't know, but we'll find out soon.
We got 90 days because, like I said, right now, from what is being said, it wasn't the money and it wasn't the years. It was more of the contract itself and what the contract was, what was in the contract.
I wonder if it's part of merchandising.
Maybe it could have been part of merchandising. Could have been part of it. I don't know. Like I said, we don't know until we know. It's probably going to be about a week or so before we figure that out.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to let them go. I don't think.
Let me say this: TKO and what's happening there, Midnight Rider. He said we need a faction style T-shirt. Yeah, we do.
Well, get to work, Mr. Graphic Artist.
We do.
You and Chat GTP been best buddies here lately, so go ahead. Handle it.
This is what I'm learning about TKO. It's people on the board Now I'm quite sure, not 100%, but I'm quite sure that they have a board that oversees WWE and a board that oversees, UFC.
No, it's one board over both.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
well,
think
if
it's
it's
only
one board over
yeah.
both, it's
That
majority
your
of
boy
that board
Dwayne's
does
on.
not know wrestling.
Your boy Dwayne's on that board.
Then why is he not speaking up? Is he a silent partner? Is he in a room of AK-47s and Gatling guns? Is he just a little 22? Is he a little pow? Stop shooting that little motherfucker! Is that who he is?
Yes.
Then
Because he's about to check.
Okay. I'm trying not to get excited here.
He's overruled by Ari.
If you are in the wrestling business and you don't know nothing about the wrestling business, you hire wrestling people to run the wrestling business. If I'm sitting at the head of the table and I have to have somebody down the left side for UFC, down the right side for WWE, everybody down the right side is going to know about wrestling in the business in and out at all levels. Everybody down the left side is going to know about UFC, all levels in and out. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to hire people that are smarter than me to work for me. And when those people that's on the WWE side, you know what they're going to tell me? We got to do something about Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, because the New Day is one of our hottest selling acts, if you will. But, what has the New Day done? Well, longest reigning tag team champions, probably one of the greatest factions of all time, but definitely one of the greatest factions in this era. Merchandising, I mean, from the unicorn horn, the pancakes, the bootios. I mean,
I got a box of bootios.
I never got my box of bootios. That's what I did not get. I did not get a box of bootios.
Never opened it.
I never planned on it.
To be honest with you, I didn't know if it tastes like booty.
They will now. As long as you've had them, they taste like booty now.
They probably do.
And stale as hell.
Heck yeah.
But you got all of this, and you let these guys, because of a misunderstanding, is what I'm going to say. You let these guys walk. But before you even let them walk, you weren't even writing them right on TV. You did them so dirty, so I can understand why they wanted to walk. I don't blame that at one bit. You can't be this over, but never get on TV. They do. I don't know who the writers are in the back all the time, but sometimes I wonder, do you know Bo? But it seems like every time somebody comes in and they push back, those are the ones that wind up getting fired, a.k.a. Road Dogg. Because he pushed back on an idea and said, no, that's not going to work because we did that already. We need to come up with something fresh. He pushed back, and all of a sudden, well, Road Dogg has decided to get his release from WWE. No, you fired him because he pushed back and he tried to tell you something wasn't going to work. You went ahead with your idea, and what did it do? Fell flat on his goddamn face. Sometimes you got to fucking listen.
Exactly. Because the New Day are not just a generational situation. They are a multi-generational situation. There's very few groups, let alone individuals, that can have a gimmick that will cross and start one way with the pancakes and all that. That's one generation of kids that grew up into 13, 14s. Then another generation of kids gets exposed to correction. Hold on. Let me go back a little bit. The first generation, we had the three of them, and they were doing the unicorn stomp, and they were the free bird rule, and they were starting the pancakes. Second generation, after the other ones grew up and became 13-ish or 12, the second generation of kids started getting more of the pancakes into the Bootio cereal and, bringing out the Hardys. The next generation is what technically is in danger of not understanding what the group is, because that's when we started pulling away when Big E got injured. we started seeing less and less of the New Day as they were. Francesca wasn't coming out as much. Certain things wasn't happening, and they were pretty much almost erasing out a group that all they had to do was be on TV and get their chance. They would have inspired another generation. They're like Black Hogan, technically. Not to make that strong comparison, but think about it. Multiple generations of wrestling fans said their prayers, took their vitamins, knew, yellow and red. First thing you thought was a ketchup and mustard. You thought Hulk Hogan until he went black and white. Now there's a group that's missing. That's merchandise sales that are missing. What'd you say, KG? Did you say? Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry. I know it was good too. That's the problem. Like, you said a quip and I missed it.
White. I said then he went completely white. But
yeah, that he did.
With a shade of red on the back of his neck. But I digress.
But so again, they could punch their ticket. Tony Khan's going to take him. Truthfully, if there's nobody else he's going, jump in for, maybe Zoe Stark. But yeah, he, whatever. Wyatt Six and all that stuff, they can go wherever. But if he gets them, WWE's in trouble. Hold
on. I'm glad you brought that up because the Wyatt Six are in this category with, and everybody's saying Kofi and Xavier. No, they're in the category with the New Day. You did not write for them the correct way. The crazy part about it, Bray Wyatt, may his soul rest in peace, had everything already laid out for the Wyatt Six. He had everything laid out. You teased us with Uncle Howdy. Bo Dallas knew what the fuck was going to go on. He knew what needed to happen. You wouldn't let him do it. You wouldn't let him bring the vision to fruition. That's a problem in my book. Again, you're not listening. Now, if you know
who gets the charge for that though, is that Nick? Is that Nick Khan, or is that Triple H? Who gets the charge for that?
Both of them. Both BOFFUN. Both of them. Because if we're sitting side by side, if my desk is here and your desk is here, and you like, I don't know, and I can't come to you and I can't say to you, look, I gotta overrule you on this. We gotta see where this goes. And you say to me, all right, it's on you. If it falls, it falls. Okay. But if it succeeds, it succeeds. We got to run with it. You didn't do that for the New Day. You took the New Day off TV for the longest. Even when Xavier Woods is out, you still could have had Kofi do a run to keep the New Day fresh in everybody's mind. Kind of sort of like what you did when you had, this is not the greatest example, but you had Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Henry had left on a legitimate injury. He had left. D'Lo Brown was in a feud with Droz. Droz had Prince Albert. When Prince Albert and Droz had him pinned down, he had Ivory. Ivory ran to the back, and who came out? Coming back from injury, Mark Henry came back. The family was back together is what Jim Ross called it. But you had that storyline where everything was still fresh. You still remember what it was like when they were together. You could have did that, but instead you wrote for everybody else and you elevated everybody else. You've held Kofi Kingston down for the last 15 years. One title run does not change what you've done to him for the last 15 years. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, with the Wyatt Six, you just never, the vision was there. Everything was written out, what needed to happen. You teased it. Everybody was all good. You got mad because they broke kayfabe and went and got something to eat. So the fuck what? We knew who everybody was. We were good with that. Nobody really tripped off of that. You bumped them down. You put them underneath for everything else, and you never really wrote for them anymore. You fucked it up. But then you release everybody, and you think we supposed to sit here and be like, well, that was a good release because they weren't doing anything. No, you fucked it up because you didn't write for them. And you didn't really have to do anything. Bo Dallas had everything under control.
But did you see the reason why they let him go?
No.
It came out recently that the reason why the Wyatt Six and Zelina Vega and Malachi Black were let go was because of that gothic. Somebody in TKO didn't like the look. Didn't like that. Didn't like the cult like gothic like aura that they had, and that's why they let all of them go like that, because of the way that their gimmicks.
Can I say something to you? And I know you'll back me up. What's the difference between that and the ministry?
Vince.
Right.
But Vince was the intercessory between it. Nothing. But it's Vince on the back end. It's the back end. He just laid it out. This is AOL Time Warner and WCW all over again.
Right. And it's to the point where Alexa Bliss has now said that she's going to stop. She's going to change her look. She's not going to do the
Lillian, but she can't, because that'd be sacrilegious. How she get to still do that, but yet everybody else
had to get released. This is an example of
authority on the other side of the street, like KG was talking about. You shouldn't be in areas that you know nothing about if you are not a promoter. Sumo, you'll appreciate this. This damn near Jim Hurd. Why the heck are you in the mix of anything and you don't know what the hell you talking about?
Well, Ari Emanuel is looking out for himself and his bank account.
His bank account's going to drop.
He's looking out for the people that he represents. The Rocks, the Pat McAfee's, the Lil Yachty's, those folks that he's bringing in. He represents these people.
Mm-hmm.
Jelly Roll, all these guys. He represents these people. So he's looking out. He's looking out for his pocket and their pockets. That's why he's injecting people in.
This is an example of somebody that doesn't know if they're scratching their clock or whining their ass. That's exactly what this is, because you don't know what you're doing. Anybody that can sit on the board of a wrestling promotion and say, well, the gothic stuff doesn't really speak to me. It's not about speaking to you. When you run a business, we run a business here at Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. We run a business. You know what dictates our business? The people that put them views out there. The people that comment. When you say, hey, what about this? Have you guys ever talked about this? Hey, let's pivot and talk about that. Because those are our consumers. If your consumers like the gothic stuff, the hell with what you think. Within reason. But the hell with what you think or you don't like. Because your likes does not dictate what your consumer likes. You have to cater to your consumer. If your consumer has been clamoring for the Wyatt Six, clamoring for Zelina Vega, clamoring for Aleister Black, clamoring for the New Day, and you don't give it to them, you know what you just did? You took all those pieces off the table and you just alienated a portion of your daggone consumers. You know what that's going to happen? That means you losing money. You know what happens when you lose money? You no longer operate in the black. You drop down to operating in the green. And when you operate in the green, next thing you know, you're going to be operating in the red. When you operate in the red, you're going to have to find somebody else to buy in to make the money back so you can start operating in the green, because next thing you know, you're going to have to close your doors. That's how it happens, because you don't listen to your consumer.
Did we just listen to the KG version of Steiner Math?
Yeah, that sounded about like that. Yeah, it is.
God damn.
Now, here's the thing. If they get rid of the Wyatt Six and Aleister Black and Zelina Vega for that, where does this leave Tatum Paxley? Where does this leave Damian Priest? Where does this put Rhea Ripley?
Well, hey, they're not dark. They just wear black.
Rhea Ripley is gothic as hell, man. What are you talking about?
There's a difference. She just wears black.
and she pasty.
Paige just wears black. Well, that she can't help being pasty. She's British.
But she actually wears makeup to make herself look pasty. She's got a Rhea Ripley hasn't been Rhea Ripley when she went to the black hair and she let her hair grow out. She's been goth since then. And guess what that does? She's brought so many people in.
She needs to eat a couple sandwiches.
Call her Khalees because guess what? Her milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Not anymore with that Ozempic. God dang, she done lost too much. But here's what I don't get.
Rest in peace to Nikita Lyons.
Yeah. I don't even. She's done. She's done. I don't even know when you go from NXT to LFG, you're not supposed to go backwards. You're supposed to be going LFG to NXT.
So I'm talking about all the weight she lost. Oh
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But you know what I don't get, what I don't understand? And it's a loss. This is the perfect time. And you got a mouthpiece that can do it, but Tony Khan, I don't think will let it happen. MJF needs to go just off. Somebody needs to be saying what we want to hear to a wrestling audience. I was watching a clip of Bullet Club. Speaking of your shirt, it was Kenny Omega and Nick and Matt Jackson wearing New Day shirts, coming to the ring out there in New Japan. Just doing stuff like that. But why is it somebody could be Cope just cutting promos? Like, you know what? The best thing I could say about this company is we allow people to be dark. We like the goth here. Don't know what's going on over there on the OKT. But on this side, AEW, we know what's going on. Somebody at Tony Khan needs to grow a set and take advantage while he got lightning in the bottle. He's running out of time. Less than 12 months before WrestleMania. He's running out of time. If he don't capitalize on WrestleMania next year, AEW is not going to make it in another 2 years.
Yeah, they may not make it. They may not make it before the end of this year if they're talking about the TV deal is going out.
But everybody's on the bubble for TV. I mean, we got takeovers on the CW now.
Yeah, that used to be
that's also not a bad thing because that also puts the CW on Roku.
But see,
it's a reverse win.
I got to disagree with you because NXT takeovers used to be like that made the weekend. Like if you knew you had a WWE pay-per-view, I'm sorry, PLE. Ever since we changed to PLE, it's become horseshit. But when you knew you had
ELE,
Sunday,
expensive. It should be ELE, expensive live event.
Yeah,
that's what it should be.
But when we had the network, you had the WWE network, you had that app. You knew on Saturday night the takeover was going to happen. So you might have War Games on Saturday night, and then you got a Backlash on Sunday or something like that. You had a NXT pay-per-view not during the week. You had Bash at the Beach on Saturday, which is an actual pay-per-view. You had that on Saturday. You could either pay for it, you could watch on the app. And then Sunday, you had your main roster pay-per-view. So everybody was always in the building at the same time. You could go and double up. You could go to the NXT pay-per-view, then pay to go to the next pay-per-view. Only time they didn't do that was for WrestleMania because they had everybody in the back for WrestleMania. Everybody traveled to WrestleMania just in case. So you may have hung around the locker room or catering or whatever, but you were there. You were there to help do whatever. If you had to help set up the ring, you were there. You were a part of WrestleMania and you felt like it. Once they started separating the two, everything became horseshit. Because now we're getting, I don't even know when the NXT takeovers come on anymore.
They're not takeovers. They shut down takeovers after they switched to the Rainbow era.
Network. Yeah.
When they went to 2.0, and it came out with all the colors, That's when they stopped the takeovers.
Well, we knew that they had to do that. That was a Vince call because that's funny. It's your product, but it's my product. Can't be better than my product. It's like VKM. You're winning. Take the win, get the dub, and still get the dub. But,
let me tell you something. Like the young folks say, we're losing recipes here. We used to be a proper society. We used to live like kings and queens. We could go on the WWE network, go on Peacock,
I thought you were
and hit the whole entire boat. Can't even do it no more.
Bring back the network. I'm about to go overseas just so I can have the network. I will give them credit, though. Thank you to all the overseas countries that still have WWE Network, because I have it on my Xbox. I have it on my PlayStations and stuff. I still got the icon. I still have it on my cell phone. It don't go nowhere, but it's just nice to see. That was the best time ever. I still got my $9.99 shirt. Best time ever.
Man, we had that shit set up so well. Well, before we get out of here, gentlemen.
Wait a minute. I feel like we missed something too.
Oh yeah, I'm getting ready to get to it.
Oh,
if I can get my mouse to work here. My spinny dervish ain't working. I'm gonna take us and put us on the side real quick. We were having a discussion in our group chat, so I wanted to play this, and I got questions.
When we get to the end of DX, the run as babyface, there's a moment where I go to Vince and I'm like, I want out of the group. And he was like, why? I said, I want to turn heel. Austin is white hot. Rock is on his way up, but he's going to be a babyface, a white meat babyface.
So you felt it early on.
He's so charismatic. Yeah. There's no way he doesn't become a babyface. We need the Darth Vader in this.
This is so smart.
You need the bad guy.
Yeah.
I'm confident enough in myself. I can be that bad guy, but I got to get out of this group and I got to make the shift.
And
the other guys were like, what are you doing?
Yeah, because you're also white hot. You're like, why would you leave this?
Yeah, ride this into the ground. We're making a fortune on merch and everything else. Don't do it. I was like, but this is not what I want to do. I knew for me, it wasn't, while what we were doing was amazing, that wasn't the setup for me. When I leave the group, now it's a full transition. Now I go to trunks. Now I take my hair down. I wet my hair. I start growing a beard a little bit. Like now I become what I always envisioned myself being as a performer.
How about Gentlemen,
I'm sorry. You know me, I'm a huge Triple H guy. I had so many discrepancies and issues with what he said. And correct me if I'm wrong. I know we were talking about it in the chat, but correct me if I'm wrong. Number one, The Rock started out as a babyface. It didn't work. At Highway to Hell, he turned into corporate Rock. So he turned into a heel. Mm-hmm. You had the corporation, you had the ministry. Those are your two heel factions. I don't remember DX ever being baby faces. They were anti-establishment, yes, but baby faces, no. Because they took on and same thing. I mean, even when it was just Triple H and Shawn Michaels, they weren't baby faces. They were over, but they were anti-establishment. Calling Austin a baby face is like a slap in the face because he was never a baby face. He was always anti-hero. And as far as Triple H goes, him leaving DX, he joined the ministry. I'm sorry, he joined the corporation and wasn't the crown jewel in the corporation. After The Rock, who was a 3-time champion with the corporation, left, turned face, and they combined the corporation and the ministry to become the corporate ministry. And it was him in China, and he wound up winning his first title. Controversially, yes, but he won it. he still hadn't really abandoned the whole DX thing. But to say you had to leave because you had to go be who you wanted to be, dude, do you realize the whole time you were in DX and you were on your way up, you were one of the top 3 stars, even to be even to compete for the Intercontinental Championship, you were one of the top 3 stars that were next to rise up. And I'm like, do he remember his career the way that I remember? Because I studied it. I watched it. But correct me if I'm wrong. Like, dude, what are you talking about? Y'all were never faces.
How do you become a babyface?
You got to be over. You got to be the good guy, quote unquote.
Do you really need to be the good guy to be a babyface?
To be a babyface, yeah. Because I mean, if you're not a babyface, but you're not really a villain, you're anti-establishment. And that's what DX was. They were what Rage Against the Machine was with music. They were anti-establishment.
But you got to think about the time.
Well, let me ask you this then. What is your definition of a babyface?
That wrestler that you want to see them win. You want to see them triumph, and they get down and the announcer's like, I don't know what he's gonna do. He's got to do something. You got the announcers on your side, and you're loved. The crowd is like heartbroken if you lose. That's your baby face.
That wasn't Stone Cold.
You had people that really didn't like Stone Cold. Announcers didn't really care for Stone Cold. Like, he didn't have the announcers on his side.
I can't believe you're on this side of the street. I can't believe you're on this side of the street, KG.
Because you not have Jim Ross.
What Sumo is saying is supporting what Triple H is saying. Because in order for you to have the Stone Cold, in order for you to have The Rock, in order for you to have Jim Ross going crazy, you also had Jim Ross saying, that's deplorable. God damn it, what the hell is wrong with you? Why would you do that? What the hell? A sledgehammer, but you can't get that. You can't get that level of villainy while you're throwing out glow sticks.
The crowd makes you a baby face.
That's the one way.
If that's the main way.
Well, no, that's two.
If the crowd
for your question, that's two. The crowd makes you a baby face, or you're presented. That'll mean you be
right.
You got to be presented.
But in Triple H's version, Triple H's case, it was the crowd that made him a babyface.
As the Rage Against the Machine-esque type of thing, the anti-establishment, because that's what was the thing to go to at that time. When you have somebody as big as Vincent Kennedy McMahon as the super heel, you need something equally as moving, point counterpoint, to be able to be the face. Stone Cold was it, and Triple H was it. Go ahead, Sumo. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Case in point, Brock versus Hogan, WrestleMania. Who came in as the heel? Who came in as the face?
KG.
Well, Hogan was the heel, wasn't he? Or am I missing that?
Hogan was still Hollywood Hogan coming
right,
into
he was
that
the
match.
heel.
He was still NWO coming into that match. When that match was over, who was the baby face?
Hogan.
Hogan was the match. Why?
Because of the crowd.
Because the crowd went for Hogan. The crowd wanted Hogan. The crowd wanted red and yellow Hogan.
Because The Rock did exactly what Triple H just said. He did the heelish things that made you want, and I know it sounds crazy, the little guy to come out on top. But you had to step away from, if you smell it, to I'm going to be this evil guy that's just going to beat the hell out of you. But I get what you're saying, KG. You know, it's hard to hear and the way he worded it, but it's true. He could have did that if he was still with DX. But Mr. Ass could have stepped away and did that. If Triple H would have stayed, Billy Gunn probably would have been the one to break away and could have become a super heel. But he stayed with Road Dogg, and they still played that role.
But the New Age Outlaws, great tag team.
But a heel Billy Gunn could have been something.
They were, I guess, because I was in that age bracket. DX represented what it was like to be in that age group as a teenager. I'll say from 13 to about 18, because it was like lowbrow humor shit, but you had fun with it. Was DX fun to watch? Yes. Did I hate DX for a short period of time? Yes, I did. But I understood. This is my early understanding because talking to my cousins, if you have somebody that's anti-establishment or they're a heel and you actually hate them, they're doing the job right. So I hated Triple H so much that I became a fan because he made me hate him so much. And this is this had to be about 99. Yeah, had to be about 99. 99, 2000. Because that was around the time of WWF Warzone, before WWF Attitude came out. So yeah, I was using him on Warzone. And then I started using him on Attitude, and I was beating everybody. But he did the job right. Yes, he did become a heel. He became a true heel. Yes. But I don't know. It's just the statement itself is just like, dude, you were still.
It's something you just don't want to hear. It's the honest kayfabe or the honest non-kayfabe. It's the honest shoot that we know. And I think that's what's bugging you, KG. You know it's true, but you just don't want to hear it because it shatters the concept that there was two levels to Triple H.
I guess so.
It's the fun-loving DX, break it down, but then it's the game. And it's just
play the hero.
Right.
Or you live long enough to become the villain. And the vice versa is also true.
But the bigger question, I'm sorry.
And how many times have you seen a heel be a heel for so long, but eventually the crowd turns and they actually start liking you?
Roman Reigns.
MJF.
Roman Reigns.
MJF. MJF was the heel for the longest time. I mean, everybody hated him. He treated everybody like crap. But then all of a sudden, the fans started turning, and they started liking him. And he started tag teaming with Adam Cole, but he still stayed true to MJF. He turned, and he eventually turned on Adam Cole because, I mean, yeah, you can befriend a snake. The snake will take care of you. Snake will do whatever they need to do for you. But eventually that snake will bite you because it's its nature.
Said by Jake the Snake. But
Anthony said, KG, I will disagree with you. When you look at Eddie Guerrero, he was in a white baby face. He was a baby face that was doing a lot of cheating. But we love you. We lie. We cheat. We steal. I mean, we love that. That's straight baby face. Now, during the whole Dominic storyline, yeah, he was a heel, but Eddie Guerrero was a straight face all the way live, man. When he was like, what did he say? He said, he said something. Remember, I told you this when I lied. I said, and everybody went crazy when he would do that.
Eddie was a generational talent. They told you it's like, hey, we're giving you the open book test. I wouldn't call him a heel or face per se. I call him Eddie. Because they told you what it was. He was just doing it's in my theme song. Not too much. Do you not expect me to do it's saying I'm gonna do this at some point? You just got to take it. But the other debate thing that we talked about behind the scenes that I'm curious to see live was Stone Cold a consistent heel, or did he turn face? Now, notice the way I worded that. Turn face. Because he was a heel as the ringmaster. He was a heel in WCW. He was a heel when he came out of his mouth with Austin 316.
But once he became Stone Cold, was he a heel?
He was Stone Cold at Austin
Stone
316.
He was just Stone Cold. When he actually tried to become a full-fledged heel, it didn't work. When he turned on everybody and he hugged Vince McMahon in the middle of the ring and tried to become a full-fledged heel, it didn't work. And he said it himself, I had to call the audible and hit him with the stunner.
So were you saying, and you believe that he turned face? Because, what I said in the chat, same thing that Hollywood's saying here, it was the next day when those T-shirts came out, Austin 316, and $1 million was made before Raw aired. What more do you want from that? The check kept cutting itself every day from that point on. Austin 316, Smoking Skull, Austin 316. He ain't even wrestling anymore, and he's still in the top 10 of merch for WWE. He's got to be arguably, at this point, the highest selling merch mover of all time. And he isn't even wrestling.
Now, Midnight Rider says, I disagree with KG. Wrestling in the 90s was the heel versus face thing was ambiguous. It's more about love, about being over with the crowd. And he said, wrestling is Rome. And to win Rome, you must first win the crowd. I agree with that. I got you there, Anthony.
Yeah, you took care of
him. Hollywood T, well, they didn't like him really until he came back at MSG. That's what made him a babyface. When he got hurt, they were booing him. He came back a babyface. He wasn't healed until the next day after the 316 promo. White people loved his attitude. And yes, he was a heel. They were booing him at the King of the Ring.
Mm-hmm. Until he opened his mouth.
Yeah. Now,
and that was only by happenstance.
Anthony said Austin was a babyface in the beginning because the attitude he had was everybody wanted to do what he was doing to their boss, and he got away with it.
I'd say he was a babyface in WCW. I mean, not WCW, ECW. In my opinion, that was his babyface run.
Yeah, he was a babyface in ECW because everybody was feeling, they were sympathetic to him about what happened when he got fired from WCW.
But when he went to WWE, I think he was heel. I think he was benefacted off of a quote.
He was heel as ringmaster. You're right, but like you said, as soon as he started cutting that 316 promo, yeah, they were booing him walking up to the throne. They were booing him because of what he did to Jake Roberts. But as soon as he cut that promo, he was a face.
Goated.
And he didn't have to change his attitude or his gimmick because that's what they wanted.
Yep. Generational, just like Eddie Guerrero. Didn't have to do anything. But to the adverse, Triple H had to do when he was with DX. He had to do these things to qualify for the DX attitude. So that means that in order to go heel, he had to remove himself out of the DX obligation to pick up the sledgehammer and do other things. And there you go.
Midnight Rider said the Bret Hart match when he passed out was the moment the crowd began to love him, but that 316 promo was the fire. Yeah, that's when the Inferno started. 316 was when the Inferno started, but the pilot light was lit. when he went and he had the blood dripping down. That was a T-shirt.
Yeah,
actually, that was a T-shirt. That was an option on the game I mentioned earlier, WWF Warzone, which was a game on PlayStation 1. That was an option for a T-shirt to have Austin's face on it with the blood running down.
Who do you have to thank for that?
You? Was that your idea?
Vince.
Oh, yeah.
Vince is the reason why that happened. Because Vince told them he didn't want any color in that match. And they made the decision that we're going to do it. If Vince was quiet, that wouldn't have happened. Just some food for thought out there.
And he said, did his rivalry with Vince turn him babyface, or did that just slowly turn him into a tweener? I think his rivalry with Vince, I think that was more along the lines of making him anti-establishment as well as anti-hero. But let me rephrase that. I call him anti-hero, not anti-establishment, because when it was time to do the right thing, he did the right thing. When he could have left Stephanie on the Undertaker symbol and not did anything. He saved Stephanie. By him saving Stephanie, he knew he had a moral compass to do the right thing.
True. Anybody against Vince is going to be an automatic face, because Vince, Mr. McMahon, that Mr. McMahon character was so. I mean, it's like you're going up against Vader. There's nothing, and I'm talking about Darth Vader, not Van Vader. You know, when you're up against a Sith Lord of that magnitude, of that level of evil, you can't. There's no way even somebody evil is going to be good. De facto, if nothing else.
Hollywood says, know what Don said. Once he opened his mouth and did the promo, he became a face. He didn't get to the beefing with Vince till after WrestleMania 14. He was a face by then, and he was already a face way before. Then it just made him a megastar, Hogan/face level. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is why we had these conversations. And it's just
But it's fun to be able to be at this point to have this conversation. And the sad part is the wrestling fans of the day don't have these situations to really walk away from and talk about with their friends in the immediate. We're talking about stuff past tense. They're discovering stuff past tense. But to Roman's credit, he's the closest for the last, 4 years or so that they can get to this, because there's nobody else, unless you guys can think of another situation. There is nobody else that has had the effect and captured the world in reference to attention and the emotions of hating, loving than Roman Reigns before the end of the Attitude Era. Didn't have a Triple H, Hogan, a Rock. Who else we had? We had Brock. We had young Randy Orton punt people in the head. We had Al Snow with a head. We had Kyantai. We had Prince Albert talking about his Prince Albert. We had DX. We had The Undertaker. We had the Ministry. We had the Nation. We had Taka Michinoku's. We had, trying to think of all the crazy people. We had Ric Flair for an extent. We had Eric Bischoff. We had OG, what's up, R-Truth. We had Owen Hart. I mean, there was so many different things jam-packed. Triple H, the game Triple H. So many things jam-packed into Raw, SmackDown, and Heat. There was so much to just like, man, did you see? I got to get the pay-per-view. Now you got, if we look at it today, what do we have? Obafemi. That's the biggest thing. Notice I paused there. That's no disrespect to Oba, But that's the biggest thing. Roman, we're just getting back to. But Open Family is the biggest thing that is moving everything. And a close second, maybe the Gingerbread Man. Taking it back to the beginning of the show.
There you go. Horseshit.
Roman
is the GOAT. We don't give Cena enough credit.
I'm sorry. Sumo, you should have corrected me and said, how did you forget about Cena and that soliloquy of all those people? Tragic. But I guess we couldn't see him, so that's probably why I didn't mention him.
Brock and Randy weren't attitude era. Slow down there, buddy.
I'm not talking about attitude era. I'm talking about in that time span where we had so many things happening to talk about. They came towards the end, but we had young Brock and Randy at some point, as they transitioned out of that into the call-ups from OVW.
But here's the crazy thing. You talk about what they don't have now. If you think about it, I mean, granted, everything's at their fingertips now. We used to wait. If you watch the pay-per-view on Sunday, you went into school Monday, you went into work Monday ready to talk, and you knew you had your folks, and you were ready to really, really talk. Like coming in to school on Monday, that was one of the best reasons to go to school on Monday, is to find out what happened on the pay-per-view if you missed it. Oh man, Raw gonna be nice tonight. I'll never forget the Monday after Over the Edge. I remember going to school that Monday, and the boss BJ and Isaiah, we were down in the hallway where we always used to sit at before class. And they was like, yeah, Owen Hart died last night. I said, what? Hey. The whole screen went black and the whole pay-per-view went out. He died last night. I was like, no, he didn't.
Yep.
He was like, yeah, he did. Me being me, I left school early. I was distraught. I had to leave school after the first period. I can't continue on like this. And I went home and I saw it and I sat there stunned. I was in shock. But you got to school on Monday to hear those things and to talk those things. It's now everything's all at the fingertips now. You don't do it anymore. But I mean, it's to the point now. The IWC is a thing. The internet wrestling community is a thing, to the point that people say that you're a part of the IWC, not as something progressive or it's wonderful that you're a part of this because you get to talk wrestling there. But no, it's a derogatory thing to be a part of the IWC because all you're doing is harassing the wrestlers about things that they're not doing. It's bullshit. And we got to change that narrative. But we got so much that we can talk about, which is why we're here every Saturday. And you also have the Four Corners of Wrestling podcast that comes in on Monday. This is why we have wrestling podcasts, because there's so much to talk about, not just in WWE, but across the whole galaxy of wrestling. So, a couple of comments. Anthony said, Hollywood, I believe the reason why we don't give China enough credit is it's become more trans felt that Vince was shoving. What?
What? Yeah. China wasn't trans. Now, she did have a big.
I think he means transparent. You just want to.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm about to say, because Playboy solved that right there.
Who did it?
Still got it.
Who's both?
Still got it. That's an addition. That one and the Sable. I will, still got it. I can go pull it up right now, but I don't think I can show it. But still got it.
Hollywood said, but he was organically built. He was one of the first NXT kids, and it worked. People just hate because of Hogan, but just waving your hand in front of your face. See me. And he said you did say attitude her.
Ain't got time for that.
Ruthless aggression. They do have it now. We just watch for a different reason now. We watch to podcast about it. We watched it back then to enjoy ourselves. We have a good group now. I mean, but we had a run, and you gentlemen correct me if I'm wrong. Hollywood T, correct me if I'm wrong. We had a run pre-pandemic that was like, oh my God, this feels like real wrestling. Like this feels like our wrestling. You know, you know, not the. I mean, it's almost Sunday morning, so I might as well throw it in there. But it's a song by Carlton Pearson called "The Mother Sherman Story," and he said he started singing, and she told him they make noise in here, but not our kind of noise. When it comes to wrestling, they make noise, but they were making our kind of noise pre-pandemic. Right before the pandemic hit, they were making our kind of noise. Like it was, you were glued to it. Every show from Monday to I think what we had NXT on Tuesday, you had AEW on Wednesday, we had SmackDown on Friday. We were in on all that. Like I was recording all these things, going back, watching them all on Friday, because I would watch everything on Friday so I could talk about it on Saturday. But we were there. And then it's like when the pandemic hit, we was like, all right, what now? And then all of a sudden, the women's division rose up, and we were good.
I can tell you what now. I can tell you what now. Hey, why don't you go ahead and put some screens up there?
we got to get back to enjoying ourselves watching. And of course, man, plug. Come on now. You do realize.
So cost $350.
You do realize we family now.
Oh yeah, now, and I want to say, since you put that up, I did enjoy my time on the show last week. You know, I did appreciate the hospitality, and we had a real good show. So if y'all can go back and check that out, that'd be good. To check them out. Did you all check it out? Did you? I told you.
Yeah,
I told you y'all would like the shirt that I wore.
I saw the shirt. I saw that.
Nah, good show.
So
Anthony clarified. He said that what I was saying is I believe fans don't give John Cena enough credit. It's because they felt like VKM was shoving John down our throats.
Why are you yelling, Sam? Anthony, why are you yelling? I got to put it in caps. You saying KG can't read?
But he bust the cap lock on us. But now the thing is, John was built organically. Remember, he was the prototype in OVW. And that's another thing. OVW was so great back in the day. Like we got to see all these people before they became stars. You know, but John
was super class back then. God dang, that call up.
John was built organically. I'm sorry, I can't agree with you on that part. But he was shoved down your throats because guess what? He had the charisma. And during that time,
kind of right though, because Super Cena, they Jesus, I'll still never forget how the Royal Rumble full until you hear John Cena music, and he put everybody out the Rumble. Everybody,
because everybody
it's like 1801. Everybody, come on, man.
Hollywood said once we found out Hogan was a POS. Around the same time, Cena was super hot. We couldn't buy into the say your prayers and eat your vitamins train. No way were we going to buy into Cena no more. And you know what? Around the time that we found out Hogan was a POS, I made it my business to start every show we did here. Hogan's a piece of shit. How y'all doing tonight? And I just kept going because it hurt. And I mean, when I say it hurt, it hurt. I had my issues with Hogan in the ring, but outside the ring, never had a problem with the dude. I used to watch Hogan Knows Best, Brooke Knows Best. I used to watch all of that.
I know, right? Because you was like, hey, man, if I bump into Brooke, I know Hogan won't mind. Then it all went downhill from him. Like, dang, for reals? But you need to see that interview with Mark Henry, because Mark Henry had approached and talked to Hulk. Was like, yo, man, all those, and I'm paraphrasing, all those times we sat back and we talked in the back and all that, that's how you really felt about me? You know, speaking about black people. And Hogan was like, no. It's like, well, why don't you go out there and apologize then? Are you that tied into this Hulk Hogan character that you can't go out there and apologize? And, you know, Hogan just had to look down and not say nothing. That's a pretty powerful interview there. And he took that to his grave.
Hurtful. Hollywood said he was just he was, you just don't like him, Anthony. He was leading merch seller for at least 10 years. He had a longer run than Hogan, Austin, and Rock. But people just be hating on Cena. I agree with that.
Well, I think not Hogan. God dang, he's got me talking about Hogan. Austin still was longer on the top 5 than Cena ever has been in reference to merch sales. I'm telling you, they just do a variant of a 316 shirt sells. Dude,
Yes.
Listen, what do you think is paying for the Broken Skull Ranch?
But
T-shirt.
hold on.
And Endorphin's got so many daggone things.
Austin had the best T-shirt run because I never seen a T-shirt that had a little joint in it that if you press the button, it would say Austin 316 means I just whipped your ass. It had a whole bunch of different sayings. Who else had a shirt in wrestling like that?
Shoot, you know the one I got in trouble for? The Other Side Jackass T-shirt. That was the one. I wore that to school. That was the last time I wore that to school. Can't wear that at St. Francis Academy. Shout out to the Panthers.
And Hollywood said that's what I mean by the first NXT kid. Those guys run on the indies. They built them. Yeah, they were built in a factory.
Mm-hmm.
Built in a factory.
You got to give thanks to those in that factory back in OVW that built that and that hot ass gym that they talk about all the time. Now they being built in an air conditioned facility, NFL level facility. Maybe they need to go back to the grit because just calling back to something you talked about, KG, when you were, bringing up your feelings, you were basically at the same time, and I didn't get a chance to say it then, making a case for house shows because everything they're doing is live to live to live. This is what we're talking about the New Day. Imagine, being able to test things or try things out when you have that bandwidth because you got live to house show to house show. AEW has more house shows than WWE.
But you know why you can't do a house show anymore?
Because then you got the prices is too reasonable. So how is somebody going? They just not going to go to the live event if they can go to the house show.
No, it's not even just that. I mean, if you make the prices reasonable for a house show, and normally they did house shows before, of course you did house shows during the middle of the week while you were traveling, but you did house shows before SmackDown or after SmackDown or whatever. But the results, people spoil the results, and kayfabe gets spoiled when you do house shows. And, you had house shows where things would happen. It winds up on the internet within 5 minutes of it happening now. You can go to Twitter, this would happen at the house show. The title changed hands. Well, that was the whole buildup because we were going to talk about it tomorrow night. At the beginning of the show, we were going to say what happened last night, but this didn't happen because it was a part of the storyline. Now you done messed it all up. We can't get house shows because people are so greedy and got to be the first to post about everything. Got to be the first to say something.
Well, they could do like they used to. During that 95 to 2000 period, what they did, because we had two groups touring, the A and the B shows, but what they would do, especially leading up to Mania season, is they would have each house show do a different finish, change it up and do something different. So when you were looking at, I wouldn't even call them dirt sheets then. I mean, we call it the dig for sheets. You would be like, what? So-and-so did this and won the match in this. But then you look at the next one. Wait a minute, they won this one. So we're seeing. I knew if I went to the Baltimore Arena before WrestleMania and whatever the main event was, I knew that match was going to happen at Mania. The question is, during that time period of 95 to 2000, the question is, which finish were they going to go with? Because by that point, they had 7 or 8 different ways they could go. Before then, it was kind of predictable. You would see the match, you're like, oh, wait a minute, I just saw that at the house show. So basically, you've seen WrestleMania. You're just paying for the pomp and circumstance. But it was exciting during that period to go hunt and see and try to figure out exactly which finish they were going to do. And then they would tweak it a little bit, or they may swerve it a little bit, because there was a couple times I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? Where did this run-in happen from? But it made it exciting if you were smart, Mark, and you were digging for it. If you were just going to the house show, you may have just like, but no, same match, but they did this different. But you could play around with kayfabe a little bit, or the lack thereof, if they went back to that. They just need the house shows. They need the reps. I know they got the rest, which they needed then, but they also need the reps at some point. That's why I think Saturday Night Main Event is a little bit of a heavily sought after show, because it's not locked down to you have to do X, Y, and Z to maintain the storyline. You know, especially case in point with John Cena's last match. It's not about the storyline. It's NXT versus Raw, NXT versus SmackDown, OG coming back in versus somebody, so you can play around with things and just get a different vibe. What else? Hollywood agrees that they should do some more house shows.
Yeah,
AEW does do. They do some house shows. They tour. They have a couple non-televised in Atlanta. They've done a couple already. I just didn't have an opportunity to go to it because I was busy. But they do some non-televised. I just one of them was down there at the not the Battery, the over there by. That's bad when you don't have a store in that area anymore. Never mind. It's not too far in the Swanee area. I can't remember it. But there's a place down there that they've gone through.
And Anthony said, "Guy, I honestly believe that the whole segment between Roxanne and Raquel attacking Stephanie Bakir."
You still on that, Anthony? You've been trying to get that damn statement in there. I don't even know what the hell you. I'm not gonna lie to you, Anthony. This is one of those points. I don't know what the hell you're talking about because I missed that one. I missed that one, Anthony. You got one in that we're gonna take you as the expert because I don't even know what the hell happened on that one. God dang.
All right. Well, this has been this is what happens when I'm the one sitting here and I'm moving stuff around.
Over there by Sugarloaf Mills. There we go. In Atlanta. There you go. I knew it would come back to me in the mall. All right. Sorry.
So final thoughts, gentlemen, before we get out of here, because we didn't got the indie fix. We talked about so many different things, which spawned, different conversations. It's like, man, this feel like, you talk about old times. This feel like old times right here.
Well, I think that heel turn by Jumping Jim Brunzell when he threw B. Brian Blair through that plate glass window. I think that was probably the number one moment in wrestling history that the Midnight Rider had to stop what he was doing and just pay attention to professional wrestling. That's why I believe he says that the Killer Bees are the greatest wrestling team of all time. Period. That, and also, the day when the not 24-inch pythons lifted up the Nubian Sumo, pressed him over top of his head, raised him up, and slammed him down over there by the Harley Davidson games in Atlanta. That was also a dynamic moment right there. I know I haven't talked about it in about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, but it happened.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey. I won that bet.
Something for you to use the Vaseline on tonight. Yeah.
Sumo.
I'm at a loss.
You were that day too.
I'm at a loss.
Telling you, KG, it happened. I'm not lying to you, brother. I'm not lying to you. It happened. Shook the world.
KG, if you believe the bullshittery that's going on, that's coming out of
you can try
this conversation.
Would right you, KG, if you got slammed?
I got some beads. I got some Davidson games and a bridge to sell you.
Would you want to admit it, KG? No, but it happened. Out of all the things I could come out with,
I was going to say something to you about that, sir. You got plenty of that last night, didn't you? You got plenty of that last night, did you not? I'm sure you were a very happy man last night. And for those that are wondering, y'all, you have to catch the Four Corner podcast from last week to know what we're talking about.
There you go. KG, any final thoughts?
Well, my final thoughts are I'm just happy to be back here. Number one, being able to do what you love is one of those things that it's a beautiful thing. And to say we've been doing this for so long, and come August, the Wrestlemaniacs will turn 8 years old. Yeah, that's a long time. So that's wonderful. Lastly, make sure you get up with us tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. for the Sunday Rise with the Midnight Rider and myself. And we will go over some NHL playoffs, some NBA playoffs, and
Go Canes.
Speaking of which, Maddie's on a road trip. He's down there for his first hockey playoff game in Carolina. So make sure you check out our social medias to check out that journey and be on the road with Matty Ice and Showtime Sir. Man. So just get up with us and make sure you like and subscribe, because guess what? You got the Wrestlemaniacs on Saturday, Sunday Rise on Sunday. Monday, you got Drive Time with Matty Ice, Showtime Sir, and Scooter, followed by Pretenders or Contenders with Coach Devon. Tuesday, you got Unapologetic. Then after that is followed by the Tuesday Night Flight. Wednesday, you got Nothing But Net, or take you around the association in 30 minutes. Thursday Night Throwdown, which brings you right back to Saturday. So, and don't forget the Gridiron, where we talk about the greatest fictitious sports league in the world, Craig, in the world. So that's everything. But I do believe you two gentlemen have something to say before we walk out this door.
I'll leave Don cursed.
Where's Don Rodriguez? Where is he? Where is he?
Somebody give him $400 human money.
He said they messed up her entrance. LOL. Dad house and cursed her.
All I know is it was a whole bunch of primo going on last night.
I'm gonna tell you something. Speaking of Danhausen, and I think I said this before. I think I said this when Hollywood T and everybody was on. I really like Danhausen. I'm on the Danhausen train. So
as you should be. Danhausen is that dude.
So I believe that.
Is that the Yeetmeister back there?
I believe you two gentlemen got something to say before we walk out the door.
Make sure you support your hoes when they want to get them breast implants.
And
you need to tell that to them women you got on our entrance.
Now you're hating on that. They get out good from the front or the back. I swear to goodness.
Ain't got enough to I can't even say it with the child.
No, get out of here. Now you're gonna start with that crap. That go on too much YouTube. Diversify your bonds, peoples.
Konnichiwa, bitches.